I'll never let go. I promise.
What was Titanic really about? Most remember this movie as a romance in the first half and a disaster flick in the second, two separate plots mashed together into a 3-hour spectacle, but that would sell this film short. Titanic wrestles with a single theme, a single life-transforming idea from start to finish, and it merely uses the romance and disaster plot points as a way to deliver that message. Now, the easiest way to determine what a story is about is by looking at the dilemmas a protagonist faces at 3 pivotal plot points, that being the inciting incident, the first act break, and the climax. And with Titanic, all those plot points revolve around our protagonist Rose dealing with her nihilism. Now let's get started with the inciting incident. Our protagonist runs to the rear of the ship and considers ending her life. She sees her life laid out before her and she doesn't want to endure it.
I saw my whole life as if I'd already lived it. Always the same narrow people, the same mindless chatter.
And so Rose finds herself hanging off the back of the Titanic, ready to end it all. But then Jack intervenes, and like all inciting incidents, our protagonist faces a tough decision. Luckily, Jack is able to convince her to not go through with her plan, but we do see the dilemma our protagonist faces and what she is going through. Then we have the first act break, and this is where the protagonist finally takes a leap of faith. In Rose's case, she finally begins her journey in fighting against the nihilism that plagues her life. Her guide, which is Jack, has shown her his way of living, one that is optimistic and full of meaning, and he makes his anti-nihilistic stance very clear.
I figure life's a gift, and I don't intend on wasting it.
And the first act break comes when a protagonist, Rose, is given 2 choices, to either follow her normal routine or by making the day count, by going on an adventure with Jack. And like all good first act breaks, our protagonist gets up and really begins her adventure.
So you want to go to a real party?
And then we come to the climax. This is where our protagonist tends to find themselves at their weakest and everything looks bleak. Jack, her guide in this journey, has passed away, and Rose is on her own and can barely move. She once again finds herself close to death. But she recalls the promise she made to Jack.
You must promise me that you'll survive. That you won't give up. No matter what happens. No matter how hopeless. Promise me now, Rose. And never let go of that promise.
I promise.
This whole movie from start to finish is set up around this idea of letting go of life, this fight against nihilism. Rose begins as a character close to letting go.
I mean it. I'll let go.
But Jack, on the other hand, always fights against that idea.
Listen to me! Listen to me! I've got you! I won't let go.
And at the climax, Rose makes her final decision, solidifying her new beliefs. She dives into the frigid water and fights for life. Okay, so the theme is pretty clear.
Only life is priceless. And making each day count.
But why does knowing Titanic's theme matter to you? I believe it matters because art isn't just about watching great things happen. It's not about seeing a beautiful romance or a ship being split into 2. Art's purpose is to have great things happen within you. I don't want you walking away from Titanic thinking it doesn't carry a message that'll stick with you after it's over. All stories contain a message, whether it's explicitly stated or not. Sometimes we watch a fun disaster flick and think, I'm glad there was no politics, no message, no agenda. But the truth is, there's always a message. Disaster flicks often carry the message of survival. Titanic wrestles with that very theme in both the external stakes and internal stakes.
And that he saved me. In every way that a person can be saved.
I don't think we love Titanic because it's devoid of a message. I think we love it because it contains a message that affects us, one that encourages us to fight through the hopelessness for something better. And it's important to recognize why we appreciate great art. It's important to recognize the ideas that resonate deeply within each of us. It's important to remember
To make each day count.
Well said, Jack.
Yeah.
To making it count.
Well, what do you think? Leave a comment and give a thumbs up. It really does help small channels like mine. Thanks for stopping by.